MrPlatanoMan1989. It's been a long time since I've made a video on this page, and it's been an even longer time since I was making videos on this page consistently. This video is going to be a preview for tonight's Impact. Before I get to that, I just want to cover some of the reasons why I don't do videos on this page anymore, and why the rest of the wrestling shooters community kind of faded out as well. I'm talking about Monoxide, Crazy Mike, Gilbert, Blaze, Spinnernet, that whole community of wrestling shooters that we had on the internet, we all faded away around the same time, and I'm pretty sure it's for the same reason. You see, we started making videos in the late 2000s, before 2010. Most of us started like in 07, 08, 09. And at that time, YouTube was a very different place. I actually was watching a Monoxide video the other day that kind of covered the same topic. After that, YouTube got very corporate, and you started seeing YouTube get filled with a bunch of people. A lot of their content is uninspired, but it gets views, it gets plays because they follow the same BS template that everybody else follows. It usually starts a lot like this. Hey guys, hit the comment and like, subscribe button, and blah 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 to enter a win free feature, and blah 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 blah. I'm already messing up saying it because it's not natural. It's so fake a lot of the times. It's such a brand. It's not what we were doing when we were on YouTube, where we just load up the webcam and just talk, and that's it. Like, it was more personal in a lot of the cases. Now it's very commercialized, very corporate. And I know me personally, one of the reasons I faded out from using this YouTube was because I was working so hard to try to get paid on this YouTube to be a partner, and I felt like I got screwed over because I didn't get approved and so forth, and it just made me feel like my work wasn't appreciated, and at the same time it was getting harder to keep up with wrestling and watch wrestling on a consistent basis. I actually have a gaming YouTube where I have some success, way more success than I've had on this page. It's called PlatanoGames. You'll see it as a featured channel in my Everything Pro Wrestling page, my MrPlatanoMan1989 page. So check out my PlatanoGames if you want to subscribe there. I do really want to start making videos on here. It's not going to be like before, where I used to make a video every single week, every 2 days, which was amazing. After that whole period of time where we was doing videos, and I know I can speak for the other shooters as well, we kind of got tired of doing it, not because our heart wasn't in it, but it takes a lot of effort to kind of operate your own channel, especially back then. Limited internet, limited this. It was so different compared to now. I actually work with kids, and I'll ask my kids, oh, what do you guys want to be when you grow up? And they'll be like, I want to be a lawyer or a YouTuber. I want to be a cop or a YouTuber. Somebody else, I want to be a doctor, an astronaut, or a YouTuber. Like, YouTube has changed completely, and you guys know that because you guys still watch other videos. Back then, when we started making videos, it was just a bunch of baby videos, cat videos, and God knows what else. Now, YouTube is a completely different beast, different platform, and it's just not the same anymore. So, that being said, I still do operate on my PlatanoGames page, and I still do keep up with wrestling, and that's what this video is going to be about, Impact Wrestling. Now, I stopped kind of watching TNA full-time about a year and a half ago. I'm not sure exactly when it was, but at some point, it probably was just last year, late last year, but it doesn't feel that way. It feels like it's been much longer. But at some point, it was just hard to watch because I didn't have Pop TV. I don't want to hunt down the full episodes online. Now there's more options to watch the episodes. But basically what happened was, also at the same time, a lot of stars were leaving. And I'm not talking about Eric Young and Bobby Roode and AJ Styles and those guys that left in the last few years. I was kind of happy that they left. I wasn't happy, but I knew they were moving on to bigger and better things, and we already had them for like 10 plus years. Like, we already did so much with them. Our roster wasn't getting stale, but it was just time to kind of move on. And last year we had great stuff with the Hardys before they went back to WWE. We still had EC3, Ethan Carter III. There was still a lot of stuff to look forward to Impact that was in place before they got rid of some of the veterans, the older stars. So there was some transition there. Bobby Lashley, Kurt Angle, feuded with EC3, there was still some transition. So by the time last year ended, it was hard for me to watch Impact and feel like I'm watching Impact. It felt like my whole roster was gone. There was nobody that made any natural transition with the roster from former days. Like, what I mean by that is, like, you see how Brian Cage now, he's in Impact Wrestling, he's getting a big push. He was able to face off with EC3 and Bobby Lashley and kind of send them off almost. And that being said, that gives him that transition. Now when we see Brian Cage, we could say, oh, Brian Cage has been dominating since this amount of time, and there was a natural transition there. But at some point last year when they started adding the Lucha Underground stars, or last season if you want to call it that, and Congo Khan, and all these people started appearing out of nowhere, and at the same time we were losing a lot of stars, it felt like they just flipped the roster completely. I wasn't sure if these were local talents that they just... I try to avoid the dirt sheets as much as possible. So I wasn't sure if these were local talents that they just used for that taping, or if these were actual wrestlers that they signed to their promotion, or if they were partnered up with another promotion and sharing wrestlers. I didn't know what to think. So it didn't give me any confidence in the product going forward. Why would I pay attention to these matches if they're not going to be here long term and actually build some kind of character or build some kind of success? I was wrong. A lot of the people that I just mentioned and I was talking about I felt that way when I saw it, they're still in the company today, and it's amazing to see how they progressed in just a couple months, just a year. And one example of that is Congo Khan. I wasn't a big fan of Congo Khan because I was like, where did he come from? But they're really building this monster kind of character without doing the typical over-the-top monster stuff that he just naturally dominates. He has a very old school vibe to him. TNA Impact Wrestling as a whole has a very incredible vibe right now. I can't even explain it. I started watching again around May, I want to say. And at first, I didn't see anything that caught my eye. Like, I was like, oh, that's cool. Oh, that's cool. Hey, that's cool. But I didn't see anything that made me like, whoa, go crazy. And then I just kept watching. And I don't know who the heck OVE was, Sammy Callahan. I don't know much about Phoenix, Pentagon Jr., a bunch of these people. I don't know much about them, but I kept watching. And now, at this point, September, Impact Wrestling has this kind of strange fire, this strange momentum going to them. And I'm not talking about ratings. Let's not talk about ratings because we all know that Impact Wrestling is not on a major channel. If Impact Wrestling was on Fox 5, or if Impact Wrestling was on Spike again, their ratings would be much higher. Easy. I'm talking about the product. I personally, of course, I care if other people are watching it because it keeps the company going and it continues to motivate them. But as long as I'm watching it and I enjoy it, then I'm gold. It's amazing to me. So, Impact Wrestling right now, the kind of fire that they have, I can't describe it. It kind of feels like TNA in 2005, when they had a bunch of people that you didn't really know, a bunch of new stars, and they just had this swagger to the matches, to the card, to the overall show, how everything comes together, and the pacing of the show. That's where TNA is right now. So my advice or my recommendation, if you have not seen Impact Wrestling since 2013, or you faltered out 2016, even if you faltered out from watching it early this year, check it out now. You are really seeing the full swing of the new owners and Don Callis and everybody else that they brought in, you're really seeing the full stride and swing of that. And my opinion is that it could only go up from here, because this kind of momentum that they've been building, it doesn't come overnight. They've been doing this for months, and they knew what they were doing, and they were planning ahead of time in their heads, and they've gotten to this point now where they have a really strong roster. We may not have AJ and Samoa Joe, and God bless their successes in WWE. We could watch them there. We could watch Bad Influence on ROH. But the guys we do have are incredible. Our roster right now is, I mean, WWE's roster is incredibly strong, but how many people do they have in their roster? Let's be honest. They have like over 200 employees at this point between all the shows. But our roster right now is just as strong as some of the rosters we've had in the past. We just don't know these guys yet. We don't know the full potential of Brian Cage and so forth. Just like a couple years ago, we didn't know the full potential of Rockstar Spud, Eli Drake, Ethan Carter III, and even Matt Hardy when the world turned their back on him, and he kind of proved that he could still put seats, in the arenas. So that being said, I'm going to talk about Impact Wrestling tonight. Also, TNA's coming to New York for Bound for Glory and a couple TV tapings. I'm not going to miss that. It's been years since they've come to New York, and I've been waiting, and they finally coming now. And I'm going to speak about that more in a second. I think my video is going to cut off, and then I'm just going to wrap it up in the next clip. Oh, it kept going. So, as I was saying, I've been dying for TNA to come to New York for a Bound for Glory pay-per-view, for taping, anything, and they haven't done it. So when I first heard that they were coming back, I was kind of disappointed because I never got to see EC3 wrestle. I wanted to see Eric Young again. There was so many people that were just there not that long ago, and TNA failed to capitalize and come to New York during that time. So it was very disappointing for me that now they're coming to TNA when I barely cared about the product anymore. But then that's when I started watching Impact more consistently again. And now I'm freaking excited for October. They're going to tear the house down. I kid you not. It sounds like I'm crazy right now. I'm even getting goosebumps because I haven't felt this good about Impact in years. And like I said, I don't think Impact ever fell off content-wise. I love the post-2013 era when AJ left. The post-AJ era was still incredible content. The K, Eli Drake, Bobby Lashley, like, it was still putting on great shows. But what they're doing now, it's on another level. And part of that also is because they're not depending on stars from the past. They have a fresh roster, and they have fresh ideas. I just feel really good about it. So let me just read this preview real quick. What Impact has in the description. Who called Conan and King? Tessa Blanchard versus Su Yung in a Knockouts title rematch. And Moose explains his betrayal of Eddie Edwards. Tonight on Impact. Another thing that happened was that OVE was attacking Phoenix and Pentagon Jr. And Brian Cage decided to come back to the ring and kind of bust their ass. So I'm hoping we get a 3v3 kind of thing tonight. OVE versus Brian Cage, Pentagon Jr. and Phoenix. Now, Eddie Edwards' character has developed so much since Davey Richards stepped away. And Eddie Edwards' character really spiked for me when he was feuding with Bobby Lashley, because that was an incredible feud and they really built him up. So now he's on another level. If you're a fan of Eddie Edwards, you have to see what he's doing now, because he's never done it like this in his career. Conan and King, some old school G called them to try to settle the beef. I won't spoil what happened because that story is out of this mind, out of this world. I was like, yo, se pasaron, which in Spanish basically means like, yo, they wildin' now, they doing too much. Like, but I'm really enjoying it. Moose is heel, betrayed Eddie Edwards, and we're gonna see the aftermath of all that. I hope in Bound for Glory we get Eddie Edwards versus Austin Aries. It seems like that's what they're building towards. I'm not sure what's gonna happen, but I'm definitely gonna give you my thoughts on the next couple Impacts as well as this Impact show. I'm just gonna try to keep it under 15 minutes because I think that's my limit on this page. Check out my PlatanoGames page and comment below. Ask me questions. Tell me what you want to know. Thanks for watching. Check out Impact tonight or see last week's. Peace.